On the battlefield of AI hardware, most people focus only on Nvidia's GPUs, while overlooking the nervous system that connects those digital brains together. Arista Networks just delivered an earnings report, showing 29% revenue growth in net income, surpassing $1 billion, posting profit margins, typically seen only in elite software companies, even as the market experienced short-term volatility from profit-taking. Arista has been quietly leveraging its open Ethernet architecture to challenge Nvidia's dominance with InfiniBand. This isn't just the rise of another network and equipment company. It's a sovereignty battle over the protocols that will power the back-end networks of the AI era. Hey everyone, welcome back to Deep Dive Stock Earnings. If GPUs are the engines of the AI era, then Arista provides the highways that keep those engines running at full speed. Today we're breaking down not only its remarkable 46% operating margin, but also the bold $6.08 billion inventory bet it made to secure supply during a massive shortage. Arista's financial performance reveals a rare kind of asymmetrical beauty. Quarterly revenue reached $1.49 billion, while net income surpassed $1 billion for the first time in the company's history. In the hardware industry, rapid growth often comes at the expense of margins, yet Arista maintained 29% growth while preserving exceptional profitability, delivering a double beat and raising guidance signals that its products command significant pricing power within the AI infrastructure stack. Arista is no longer bound by the traditional cost-based pricing model of networking hardware. Arista may sell switch hardware, but its real core is the highly programmable AI software. The model gives it margins closer to a SaaS company than a traditional hardware vendor. Short-term market swings hide a bigger truth. Arista is entering a powerful growth cycle, driven by the global shift from general computing to accelerated AI computing. Management's confidence in the future was clearly reflected in the upward revision of its fiscal 2026 outlook. Revenue growth expectations were raised from 20% to 25%, pushing the full-year revenue target to $11.25 billion. Even more significant was the revision of AI-related revenue projections, which increased from $2.75 billion to $3.25 billion. This shift signals that AI networking has officially moved beyond the experimental testing phase and entered large-scale deployment. A $500 million boost in AI revenue isn't just a numbers tweak. It signals that cloud giants have already validated Ethernet solutions and are now entering the true infrastructure build-out phase. The orders Arista sees are no longer about testing, they're about powering massive GPU clusters at scale. Within the AI backend networking arena, a domain historically dominated by Nvidia's InfiniBand, Ethernet is launching a powerful counteroffensive. Arista has demonstrated that when managing massive clusters of around 50,000 GPUs, open standard Ethernet architectures offer greater flexibility and cost advantages compared to closed systems. With the rapid adoption of 800 networking products, Ethernet now delivers bandwidth, latency, and scalability capable of supporting cutting-edge large model training workloads, significantly accelerating training cycles. InfiniBand is powerful, but its closed ecosystem makes many cloud providers uneasy. Arista's Ethernet approach offers a way to avoid single-vendor lock-in. For data centers, openness means lower costs and better hardware compatibility. Arista is now pushing Ethernet from front-end networking into the core of AI compute infrastructure. As competition within the GPU market becomes more fragmented, with AMD's MI300 series and custom chips from hyperscalers gaining traction, demand for neutral networking infrastructure is increasing rapidly. Arista doesn't tie itself to any specific chip vendor. This Switzerland-like neutrality places the company in an extremely advantageous strategic position, regardless of which GPU architecture ultimately wins. As long as thousands of accelerators need to be connected together, Arista's Ethernet switches become the universal denominator. That's the brilliance of Arista's strategy. It doesn't fight in the raw compute war. Instead, it builds the roads connecting the battlefield. As the computing landscape becomes increasingly diverse, neutrality itself becomes a competitive advantage. By refusing to pick sides, Arista positions itself to benefit from every ecosystem simultaneously. Arista has long faced criticism for its heavy dependence onto hyperscale customers, Microsoft and Meta, but in its 2026 financial outlook, that concentration risk is beginning to change. In addition to existing major clients, The company expects 1 to 2 new customers, contributing more than 10% of total revenue. Its customer base is expanding beyond hyperscale cloud providers to include financial institutions, government agencies, and a new wave of AI-focused Neocloud service providers. Customer diversification marks a company entering a mature growth phase. It shows AI networking is no longer a privilege of top-tier cloud giants, but is becoming standard infrastructure across the industry. New clients not only strengthen Arista's revenue stability, but also prove its product's versatility and leadership across multiple use cases. One particularly interesting group of customers is the emerging class of Neocloud provider startups dedicated to offering AI training infrastructure. These companies already contribute roughly 20% of Arista's revenue. While they are driving explosive demand growth, they also introduce potential credit risk. If enthusiasm for AI investment cools in the future, these relatively undercapitalized startups could significantly cut spending, potentially impacting Arista's order pipeline. Neocloud clients eagerly adopted Arista's 800 GS tech first, but they're financially fragile. While Arista rides this growth wave, it must stay vigilant. The boom in AI compute infrastructure is real, but varying financial health among players means investors must carefully judge the true value of this expansion. Arista increased its purchase commitments dramatically, from $4.08 billion to $6.08 billion, in an environment where memory chips and critical components remain in extremely tight supply. The company is using pre-purchased inventory as a strategic mode. Even if supply disruptions hit the broader industry, Arista will still have the ability to deliver products on demand. This stockpile of components, purchased with real capital, becomes one of its strongest competitive weapons. A $6.08 purchase commitment shows management's total control over market demand in the hardware race. Having inventory is king. This aggressive stockpiling strategy essentially uses financial leverage to squeeze competitors' market share, deliver when others can't, and you lock in long-term customer loyalty. Despite rising supply chain costs, Arista still projected gross margins between 62% and 63%, and an operating margin around 46%. That level of profitability demonstrates exceptional pricing power within the industry. Through rapid technological iteration and efficient cost management, Arista can offset rising input costs and pass pricing pressure downstream more effectively than traditional networking competitors like Cisco. In short, Arista is leveraging Ethernet's openness and neutrality to build a second ecosystem that Nvidia can't fully dominate. With 12BS in pre-orders and software-level margins, it's proving it's not just a gatekeeper of network protocols, it's one of the most resilient profit generators in the AI era. I'm Deep Dive Stock Earnings. See you next time.